Thanks for tuning in to the A channel. This week we're talking about how we define ourselves. When I sat down to think about what I wanted to say for this topic, the first thing that popped into my head was the idea of setting up an online profile, an online dating profile. And those types of questions, you really have to use labels and categorize yourself and somehow put together this complete picture of yourself, a comprehensive idea or image of who you are in just using a few words. Just seems inadequate, but not impossible. I think first and foremost, I tend to identify myself through my career, through my work. And my work is as a feminist counselor for women that have experienced violence in their lives. There's a fuzz that just flew across the screen. I don't know if you guys could see that. So I define myself as a feminist, as an advocate for women, and I try to lead a life that is based on some of those principles. I also think I define myself based on my recent year and a half ago move to Haida Gwaii from Ontario. I still identify myself and define myself in terms of location in big part. So I still have a tendency to say, oh, back home, and I refer to Toronto or GTA a lot in talking about who I am, because that's where I grew up, and being transplanted now to this entirely different place, it has a really interesting effect on how I talk about myself and the ways I define myself. I don't really know if there's a difference between saying that I blog or that I vlog versus saying that I'm a blogger or a vlogger. I feel like those are terms people really take on when they know that that's what they are and that's a part of them. I myself don't really use those terms. I think I would more often say to people, oh yeah, I have a blog, or I'm part of this collaborative channel. So I actually would say that those aren't really aspects that define who I am, although they are very important things in my life, despite the fact that I haven't actually blogged in a long time. I think I also tend to define myself a lot in terms of who I surround myself with, who my friends are, who my family is, just people around me in general. I have a tendency to sort of maybe get a better understanding of who I am based on what's reflected back to me from those people. Does that make sense? And lastly, I define myself in terms of my interests, hobbies, things that I love. I'm a zombie lover. I love zombies. A big part of how I identify myself is the fact that I love zombies. And however I can involve them in my life, I do. And that goes for a lot of other things. I'm not just some zombie-loving freak. I like a lot of things too. It's just that zombies are like number one. And see, now looking back over that, I'm kind of not impressed with how I sound. And that doesn't really summarize who I am or define exactly who I am, but it's aspects of it. And I guess that'll do for now.